Hello everyone! So today I'm going to teach you how to make a simple buff. Now you may not know what I mean by buff, so this is a buff. So it's basically just a tube of fabric and you can use it for all sorts of things. So it's like a scarf, you can use it as a face mask, you can use it as a beanie or a hat, a hair tie, a neck warmer, balaclava, all sorts of things. So they are fantastic things to just have in your bag. Whenever you need something, it's a perfect little thing to keep you warm, or help with your style, or keep you safe. Because we're all supposed to be wearing masks, remember? Alright, so I love wearing my buff when I'm out riding my bike, because at the moment we do need to be wearing masks at all times when we're outside of our bubbles as much as possible. So this is something that I use pretty much every time I'm out on my bike these days. I will use a buff. Now the thing I love about the buff is it's made out of a really nice knit fabric, so it's got a nice stretch to it, which makes it really comfortable when you're doing active things. The other thing which I love about my buff is that it's made out of merino wool, and that is just really comfortable on your skin, no irritation, and it's breathable as well as being warm, and if it does get damp it dries really quickly and keeps the moisture away from your skin, so it's a really fabulous material. The problem is that these buffs are really expensive, so if you're going to buy a merino buff it's probably going to cost you at least $40 or more. So I'm going to show you how to make a simple buff that's going to cost you a lot less and a nice little project for lockdown. So you can buy some merino fabric from online stores. So I've been buying merino fabric from the fabric store. They have an online shop and they also sell really lovely quality merino fabric. So this is one of the buffs that I've made here. So this is a single layer buff. So it's the same size and everything as the other one that I bought, but a lot cheaper. So for about $11 I have managed to make one single layer buff and double layer buff. Very, very affordable. The tricky bit is that with the fancy bought buffs they don't have a seam in them, which is lovely to wear, but the thing is that we don't have a machine that can knit all of our fabric together. So we are going to have to deal with trying to make a seam in our buff and make it comfortable and also look really good too. So I'm going to show you how to do all of those things. Alright, so what you're going to need is some fabric. Like I said, I recommend merino, but you can just use any knit fabric that you have. So a knit blend of different things. The key is that you want it to have some stretch to it so that you can pull it on, pull it off, and all of those things. So the basic size that you want for your fabric is 580 millimeters long, and the width needs to be 483 millimeters wide, so that you'll get the right size that can give you lots of flexibility when you wear it. So once you've cut your fabric, the first thing you're going to do is to fold it over right sides together. So we fold that and we want to get that nice and lined up. So once you've folded that in half, we're just going to pin along this edge here where we're going to sew the seam, and we want to pin it with a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance there. So that's about 1.5 centimeters if you're used to using those measurements. Right, that's ready to sew. So we're going to make sure that we back stitch our seam here. And carefully sew along that seam. making sure that you backstitch at the end. Right, so once we've done that seam line there, we have got our basic tube, so that's good. Now the edge of the seam, because we're not going to be encasing that in anything, it's not a double layer, so that seam is going to be exposed to the elements, our skin, the washing machine, all of those things. So we do want to kind of hide that, so we're going to actually do a French seam on that, which is a way that we can tuck the seam underneath and hide the raw edge. It protects the fabric from going frayed, and it also makes a really, really nice finish on your buff. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we just need to pin it under. And once you finish pinning one side, then just do the same to the other side as well. So just pin that down, fold it under, and pin it down. Alright, there we go, that's all pinned. Just make sure when you're pinning that you're really careful not to accidentally pin the other side of the fabric. So before you start sewing, just check that nothing is stuck together and that it's not going to get sewn together, because we don't want that. That would be a little bit of a problem. So when you're sewing this seam, just be really careful that the under part of the fabric doesn't get caught up and then go through the machine as well. That's going to cause some problems. So just keep an eye on the back of the fabric and make sure that that's staying out of the way of your sewing needle. So we're going to do a small back stitch. And you can see my hands underneath holding back this underside here to try and stop that coming and getting caught in the machine. Back stitch at the end, and we're just going to cut those cottons. So we've done the one side, and then we're just going to do the same to the other side. And don't forget to backstitch. Lovely, so there we are. There's our seam. Good, isn't it? Nice and tidy, really nice and flat. And that's going to make it super comfortable when you wear it. So we're just going to cut the cottons off here. Keep our sewing nice and tidy. So now we just need to hem the top and bottom of our buff. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a double fold for this seam here. So we fold it once and then again. So that again is going to hide the seam so we don't end up with a raggedy edge that could fray or be uncomfortable when we wear it. So double fold, so fold once. And again, we don't want a big seam, so nothing too big. The total amount of fabric that should be folding should be about 5/8 of an inch all up, or 1.5 centimeters total fabric that should be folding in under there. just go ahead and pin that down on both ends. And that is ready to start sewing. So when we sew this, we want to make sure that we give it a little bit of stretch with the fabric when we're sewing. This is because the fabric is stretchy this direction, and when we wear it, we want to be able to stretch it and not pop the seams. So make sure that when you're sewing, you just give it a bit of a stretch as you sew, just to give it a little bit of flexibility for when you are going to wear it. So make sure you back stitch and then stretch the fabric as you go. And when we come to the end, just another back stitch again. There we go. That's all done. And now we'll just do the other side. And make sure you just trim up your cottons. Just tidy that up. And here we go, we've got our finished buff. Looking very good. Those lovely French seams, everything's all hidden in there. We've got a nice stretchy seam because we stretched the fabric when we used it. Now let's see how it looks. So we'll just go with the classic. You want a headband. Nice, like a little beanie thing. If you want it to be, you can extend the top here, give it a little twist, and then you can tuck it in behind there. This is for the full beanie. There we go, very nice as well. That's great. Then if we want the full coverage, nice and warm. If you're wearing it under a helmet, keep your ears warm, your head warm. Then we've got neck warmer, like that. Then we've got mask. You want to wear it like a mask. So many different ways you can wear these, they're fantastic. If you do want to have it as a double layer for extra protection, if you are going to be wearing it like a mask, because it's such a nice length, you can just double it over. And there you go, you've got your double layer for protection under there. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial video on how to make your own single layer buff. Hopefully you guys can have a go as well. I'll put some links in for the fabric store where you can get some really good merino delivered. Even when you're in level 4, they will deliver you fabric so you can make it even if you're stuck at home. And they will even match your cottons with the fabric that you buy. So it makes it really nice and easy to be able to do a small and easy fun sewing project from home. So let me know if you have a go. I'd love to see your photos. And in the meantime, take care and see you next time.